You can still find seaside homes in Spain cheaper than a used car. Seriously. Some towns even have listings under 20 grand. And if you think you already know Spain's coast, wait until you see the places nobody talks about. These aren't tourist traps or too good to be true deals. They're real towns, real prices, and communities where people still leave their doors unlocked. We're diving into a list of places that are suspiciously cheap, insanely beautiful, or hiding twists travel agents never mention. And trust me, you're not ready for what's coming halfway through. Like and subscribe. Let's dive in. Mazarrón, Red Rocks and Bargains. Mazarrón opens this list because the prices feel like a glitch in Spain's housing system. Warm water, red rock cliffs, and apartments that look accidentally underpriced. It sits in Murcia with about 32,000 people, famous for Bolnuevo's Martian red formations and its old mining and fishing routes. Homes run around $145,000, rent about $650, and the cost of living roughly 18% below average. A local joked, "The sunsets look fake. The prices too. Just know beach parking is a full contact sport." Águilas, sunset fisherman calm. Águilas has that slow breathing rhythm where you step off the bus and immediately feel like you should have brought fewer responsibilities. Down in southern Murcia, this 35,000 person town mixes calm coves, 19th century carnival routes, and a fishing tradition older than half of Europe's coastal resorts. Homes hover near $160,000, rent around $700, and living costs it's about 15% below average, and crime barely makes conversation. A fisherman once joked they check the tides more than their phones. And yes, seagulls absolutely run the snack economy here. And if that feels dreamy, wait till you see the next town where pink lakes glow. Torrevieja, Salt Lakes glow. It's funny, people throw around all kinds of myths about Torrevieja. It's only for retirees. It's always crowded. It's way too touristy. But the truth is way more chill. You'll see plenty of 20 to 40-something expats living normal beach town lives. Winters are so quiet you can stroll the boardwalk alone. And once you step off the main strip, the side streets are full of local tapas bars. Add the pink salt lakes, cheap homes, and easy living. And suddenly the myths don't stand a chance. You can get home for just $155,000 and rent just around $700 while the cost of living is about 12% below average. Now we head north and the coastline suddenly slows down. Vinaròs, slow coast serenity. Vinaròs gets a bad rap from people who say it's too quiet, but that's exactly why retirees love it. This little coastal town rolls at its own pace with beaches, prawns, and an old quarter that feels like it hasn't rushed in decades. You can find places around $150,000, rent usually lands near $620, and day-to-day costs won't punch your wallet. A local once joked their rush hour is just parents queuing for gelato, and if you thought that was peaceful, the next one sits under a castle on a rock. Peñíscola, castle above sea. Peñíscola feels like a castle dropped into the sea and somehow still priced for normal humans. Homes here are about $170,000, rent sits around $750, and the day-to-day cost won't punch your wallet. The town's small, roughly 7,000 people, but the vibe is big, with that famous Papa Luna castle and those cliffside streets you've probably seen in Game of Thrones. A guide once told me, every alley has centuries of gossip, and honestly, it tracks. And if medieval drama isn't your retirement vibe, the next town is way more beach casual. Almuñécar, tropical time warp. In Almuñécar, you've got palm-lined beaches, old Roman ruins, and a climate that locals swear is basically spring, but warmer. Homes land around $165,000, rent sits near $700, and the cost of living stays nicely below average. With about 26,000 people, it's calm without feeling sleepy. One shopkeeper joked, "We only have 2 seasons, spring and slightly warmer spring." And honestly, choosing between 19 beaches is the real problem here. And if these prices already feel strange, our next town gets even wilder. Benicàssim, music and med breezes. Benicàssim is that rare beach town that can host a giant music festival in July and then feel like your own private coastline by November. Homes usually land around $210,000, rent is roughly $750, and daily costs sit comfortably under the national average. With about 18,000 people, it's big enough to feel lively without becoming chaos. A local said, "This place is either booming or napping, no middle setting." And yes, the beach bikes will sneak up on you. If you'd prefer your mornings quieter than a festival soundcheck, the next town is built for calm and peace. Cambrils, seafood town rhythm. starting around $230,000 for homes, landing near $820 for rent, and keeping daily costs pretty light. Cambrils makes retirement feel surprisingly doable. With about 35,000 people, it's lively enough to feel social but slow enough that nobody's stressing. Fishermen still win the sunrise, seagulls run the marina like a tiny mafia, and evenings feel like one long seafood commercial. A local joke the nightlife is a guy with a guitar sometimes. And if this level of calm feels just right, wait till you see the coastline coming next. Roses, wind and water trails. Some parts of Roses look like someone mashed grease into Catalonia and forgot to tell anyone. And honestly, the place really is that pretty. You're looking at places in the $240,000 range, rentals hovering near $850, and everyday costs that won't punch your wallet just for wanting a sea view. With about 20,000 people around, it feels lived in but never crowded, just breezy, sometimes aggressively so. Around here, if someone's hair looks perfect, everyone knows they haven't stepped outside yet. Head a little south and the water turns glassy. Literally. Javia, Shabia. Cove is of glass. Some towns brag about clear water, but Javia actually earns it. Those coves look like someone forgot to add the blue tint slider and just left the sea transparent. You'll see places in the $300,000 range, rentals near $950, and everyday costs that run a bit higher than average. With about 28,000 people, it feels polished but not pretentious. Just know parking here is basically a survival game. Show up late and you're hiking. Javia look too polished? Well, let's slide into somewhere louder, brighter, and proudly artsy. Sitges, stylish endless summer. Sitges is one of Spain's most LGBTQ-friendly hubs, and that energy gives the whole place this warm, creative, open-door vibe. Between the pastel villas, the sea breeze, and the film festival crowd, it sometimes feels like you're living inside someone's artsy summer montage. Homes land around $350,000, rent sits near $1,100, and everyday costs stay only a little above average, still cheaper than a month of Ibiza nightlife. About 29,000 people call it home, calm on weekdays, lively on weekends. Sitges is colorful, but the next town goes even brighter. Porto Colom, hidden harbor charm. Porto Colom feels like Mallorca's peaceful introvert, the kind of harbor town that still acts surprised when tourists show up. Homes hover around $330,000, rents about $900, and yes, it's quiet. Like, good luck finding anything open after 9 p.m. quiet. But that calm, plus a bowl of boulet de pêche, makes you forgive the slow Wi-Fi instantly. About 4,500 people live here, drifting through days measured by boats, not clocks. And if this felt peaceful, the next town reveals coastlines even locals guard like secrets. Ciutadella, Menorca. Lantern-lit nights. When you step into Ciutadella, you'll feel like walking into a movie scene where the lighting crew never clocks out. Nights glow warm off those sandstone streets, and retirees love it because life runs slow here. Even the waves seem unbothered. If you're curious about costs, most places sit in the mid-200,000s, and rentals usually fall in the $900 to $1,200 range. The only real hurdle is parking. You orbit the old town like a confused satellite. While Ciutadella is the elegant postcard, the next one is the raw, paint-still-dry version of coastal Spain. Cala Figuera, fishermen in silence. Life moves quietly here. Almost like Cala Figuera agreed to keep the volume at a soft whisper forever. This tiny fishing village still wakes up to boats knocking gently against the dock and cottages painted white by people who clearly love tradition more than trends. Most homes sit near $320,000, rents about $1,200, and crime is so low it feels imaginary. A fisherman once said, "The gulls complain more than we do," and honestly, he's right. The only thing that misbehaves is the phone signal. And if you think that was peaceful, wait till you see the Basque town where food is basically a religion. Getaria, Basque food heaven. Getaria feels like a coastal town built purely for people who love to eat. It's the birthplace of Cristobal Balenciaga, sure, but the real runway is the harbor, where grills fire all day, and its rodaballo, a grilled turbot, is basically a local religion. The smell alone could convert you. Most places land around $350,000. Rent hovers near $1,200 to $1,400, and the vibe is pure Basque. Stone lanes, twin beaches, and Sakoli vineyards climbing the hills. Just be ready to walk uphill, constantly. What? This town too foodie for you? Then wait. The next town trades Michelin dreams for medieval walls and postcard houses. Hondarribia, walls and waves. Pondaribia is one of those towns where you step through a medieval gate and suddenly you're 5 minutes from the marina, like time just folded. It's perfect if you want quiet mornings, stone alleys, and a retirement pace that feels handcrafted. Here, homes fall near $380,000, rent around $1,300 to $1,500, and the whole town feels wrapped in bright Basque balconies and old-world charm. Just watch your ankles. The cobblestones here have personality. Now, we head west along Spain's wild northern curve, toward Gaudi's forgotten seaside playground. Camillas, Gaudí by the sea. Its uniqueness comes from El Capricho, a Gaudi's sunflower mansion, neo-Gothic university buildings, and a wind-swept coastline. Camillas has this rare mix of modernist architecture and old fisherman's charm, where every alley tells a story and the sea is never far from view. Homes usually sit around $240,000. Rent ranges from $800 to $1,000, and daily life moves at a pace that actually lets you breathe. Stone streets, the salty breeze and distant church bells set the scene, while the playful wind might slam a door or snatch a hat, just part of the town's character. And just when you think the views can't get more dramatic, the mountains literally walk into the ocean at the next stop. San Vicente de la Barquera, mountains in the mist. In this town, fishermen used to tap the bows twice before heading out, to wake the sea, they said, and somehow it works. Or at least, that's what the townies swears. San Vicente de la Barquera's streets are quiet, with about 4,000 people, homes around $210,000, rent near $750 to $900, and daily costs surprisingly easy. The 16th century bridge, green cliffs, and Picos de Europa rising behind the harbor feel like a painting. Wet stone, cowbells in the distance, and waves thudding under the bridge complete the scene, while fog rolls in like it owns the place. And if this old-world magic hooked you, the next town slides into Spain's sun-soaked resorts, where life runs to a very different beat. Cudillero, cliffside color riot. Clinging to cliffs like they forgot gravity exists, Cudillero feels like someone painted the village with every color in the box and left it hanging over the Atlantic. You can snag a place for around $210,000, rent sits close to $780, and living costs won't make you flinch in this cozy 5,200-person town. Winters deliver sideways rain, alleys climb like stair workouts, and locals claim the umbrellas retire before you do. Imagine salt on your skin, diesel boats humming, and orange roofs glowing as the sun dips. And if this cliffside chaos feels dramatic, just wait for the town where the ocean carved its own cathedral. Ribadeo, Cathedral Beach Magic. Ribadeo feels like the beach got a PhD in architecture, arches, tunnels, and rock formations that make Praia das Catedrais a low-tide wonder. Homes sit around $190,000, while rent hovers near $700, and living costs stay easy for a 9,800-person town. The tides set your schedule, mist hangs like a permanent fog machine, and locals joke, the sea decides your day planner. In this town, stone arcs frame the coastline, waves thread through the rocks, and the Atlantic wind cuts sharp over the sand. But if you want drama with nightlife, the next town turns it all the way up. Sangsenso, Marbella of the North. Its season switches wild. August, Sangsenso is all beaches, music, and yachts. January, the boardwalk's empty and even the seagulls seem to nap. You can grab a home for around $240,000, rent sits near $900, and everyday costs rise a bit in summer. Traffic in peak season feels like half of Madrid showed up, and parking? Forget it. Warm sand, restaurant chatter, then winter silence. It's a town that really wears two faces. Too polished? Let's hit a place where nature does the decorating. Corralejo, dunes and surfers roar. Corralejo is a place where gold dunes meet turquoise water, and island life somehow feels both wild and welcoming. With about $260,000, you can snag a lovely beach house, rent sits near $950, and daily costs are slightly higher thanks to island logistics. Here, the wind never stops, perfect if you're into surfing, a nightmare for hairstyle, and sand finds its way into every pocket. Volcanic hills rise behind pounding waves, giving every stroll a sense of drama. Life here moves at the rhythm of sea and sand, with adventure waiting around every corner. Next town, swap wild dunes for canals and pastel harbor scenes. Puerto de Mogan, Little Venice glow. If Venice and Mykonos had a pastel baby, then Puerto de Mogan is the result. Canals wind under arched bridges, bougainvillea drapes every walkway, and the marina glows in soft light. Homes hover around $310,000, rent near $1,100, and daily costs are 10% above average. The town is tiny. Blink and you've crossed the whole town, but don't rush. Locals swear even shadows move slower here. Sun-warm walls, floral scents, and gentle water sounds make strolling magical, though selfie crowds pile up every sunset. Next, we jump west across the islands to a town rebuilt by fire and lava. Garachico, lava pools alive. Garachico is a town that literally rose from lava. Back in 1706, an eruption wiped it out, and now that natural lava pools are perfect for swimming while the old streets tell their story, homes run about $230,000, rent sites near $850, and daily costs are a bit higher at 6% above average. The Atlantic here never calms down. It crashes, sprays, and keeps you on your toes. Streets are tight, but locals just laugh. We live with volcanoes. Salt, black rocks, and sunlight on the pools make it feel alive. And if Garachico feels wild, wait till the next town where the beauty gets ridiculous. Estepona, Bougainvillea streets forever. Estepona feels like every alley was made for a postcard. Bougainvillea drapes over whitewashed walls, murals brighten the streets, and somehow it all kinda affordable. I said kinda cause here homes come about $330,000, rent sits between $900 to $1,200 a month, and living costs are lower than most big EU coastal cities. People move slow here. Shop owners joke even the flowers stroll at their own pace. Summer brings tourists and crazy parking, but the charm is real. Calm, safe, and pretty, Estepona shows the Costa del Sol at its best. If this feels polished, the next town is the easy mode version. Cheaper, simpler, softer around the edges. Fuengirola. Budget Costa Ease. Fuengirola is the kind of place where you wake up, stroll everywhere, and somehow spend less than living inland. Long urban beaches, tapas alleys, and a mix of British and Spanish life make it walkable and friendly for retirees. Homes hover around $230,000. Rent sits near $800 to $1,000, and living costs are 15% lower than Madrid or Barcelona. Summers get busy, and the beach can feel crowded near the center, but mild winters and cafe-lined streets make the stress easy to handle. And if you think this is easy living, wait till the next town built on cliffs, caves, and old legends. Nerja. Cliffs and secret coves. Nerja feels made for painters. Cliffs, hidden coves, and a balcony that, on clear days, stares straight at Africa. Homes sit around $310,000, rent hovers $900 to $1,100, and daily costs are similar to Estepona locals still fish. Tourists wander, and the 1959 discovery of Nerja Cave blew minds with prehistoric art and giant stalactites. A guide said, "People come for the caves but stay for the sea light." Busy viewpoints are the trade-off, but the cliffs and coves make it worth every step. We're heading north now to a coast where green cliffs rise like living walls. Lanus. Cliffs that breathe. Lanes is where the Atlantic smashes into limestone cliffs and fishing villages peak from emerald hills. Homes go for about $210,000, rent sits around $700 to $850, and living costs are way lower than big cities. Cobblestone streets twist through the medieval quarter. Hidden beaches wait quietly, and a local fisherman says, "Here, the sea talks louder than people. Rain shows up often. Winters slow things down, but the views, totally worth it." But if you want something calmer, an island that actually breathes, the next stop will change how you see Ibiza. Santa Eulalia, Ibiza. Quiet island soul. Known for no clubbing vibe, family-friendly beaches, pine forests, artisan markets, and a tight-knit year-round community, Santa Eulalia is Ibiza's slow lane. Whitewashed houses, quiet courtyards, and a pace set by tides and bakery hours make life feel gentle here. Homes start around $380,000, rent $1,200 to $1,500, and daily costs are higher than the mainland, but somewhat predictable. A German expat said, "This part of Ibiza lets you disappear, in the best way." But none of this prepares you for the final one. Spain's sunniest pocket, hidden on a volcanic island. Tazacorte, La Palma, Spain's sunniest town. Tazacorte is a tiny slice of paradise, wrapped in banana fields and black sand beaches, soaking up over 3,300 hours of sun a year. Bright colonial houses dot volcanic landscapes, and the microclimate earns it the nickname Eternal Spring. Homes is fairly cheap here, ranging from $190,000 to $230,000. Rent $650 to $850, and daily costs stay low. A cafe owner jokes, "Our weather is so good, we complain when clouds visit." Life moves slow. Hospitals are limited, but for retirees chasing warmth, calm, and sun-drenched charm, this little town is hard to beat. And that's the countdown. From Europe's cliffs to volcanic sun pockets, the places where 2025's best seaside living actually feels possible. So, which one's calling your name? Could you trade your city noise for waves, cobblestones, or cliffs? If your inner retiree is nodding like this video, and yes, subscribe too. Consider it your official escape plan. Who knows, your next midlife crisis Google Maps session might just turn into a permanent move.